Okay, so look at here. Look what I found growing in my backyard. These are wild Galapagos tomatoes. And they're kind of growing in my neighborhood right on the side of a building. So kind of like right through concrete, right through concrete. So if you eat these, you're gonna have some power. So yeah, I was born a forager. I have a grandmother who's native to California on my father's side. And she always, definitely got food from the neighborhood. She would send us with cubes of cheese to go to the riverbank and catch crayfish. I remember when it rained, she would pick snails off the sidewalk, drop them in a pot. My grandmother was quite a lady. She'd fish. She had a garden. So that definitely qualifies her to be a wild berry picker in my book. Definitely. But yeah, we always foraged here even as kids in grade school. On our way to school, we picked loquats. We picked oranges, strawberries, whatever grew, you know. Sometimes we get in trouble for it, but we always got away. It never ended up that bad. And here I am again. Say when you train somebody a certain way, when they get older, they won't leave it. And look at me, I can't believe it. I can't leave it. Because I found some tomatoes. Wild Galapagos tomatoes. Those who don't know, the Galapagos Islands are close by. Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Spain. It's kind of far. So these fellas are a long way from home. But I'm sure they won't mind, because I definitely have a home for them. So yeah, if you look at the leaves of the plant, that's what I'm kind of like honing in on, so you can get a kind of like look-see at what they look like. So when you're out and about, you might find a gold mine like I did today. So yeah, look at those tomatoes. So, like I said, I've always been a forager, and definitely being like vegan, vegetarian for a while. I always avail myself to what nature has to offer. And I saved so much money. I did it in Miami for a while. When I lived in Miami, I remember I used to pick coconuts and guinea and mangoes. And I think I spent about 20, $30 a month on groceries when I used to live down there. So I saved a lot because, I always ate from the bush. And right now, just like they say, times are getting harder. People don't have their SNAP. So I want to snap off a few of these definitely today and take them home. Look at them growing right beside a building in the wild. Right? I told you it's a wild world. It's a wild, wild world. So this is kind of like my invitation, I guess, to kind of like get back into nature. There I go grabbing a few. Take a couple of these home. Yeah. Make a nice little sauce for some pasta or some beans. Or I could definitely put them into a salad or slice a couple of them up and put them on a sandwich. You know? So sky is the limit. But like I said, free food. So when the government can't provide for you, look, nature can. All you gotta do is kind of like get out there. It's not hard, you know. I know there's a YouTube channel I watch sometime, and the guy talks about, you know, how like misguided we are to be paying for things that God gives us for free, you know. And I do it all the time. Even living in California, I'm always, I guess, there's apples out here, avocados out here, you know. So I'm definitely always out here picking berries, you know. Look at that haul. Yeah. So I'll grab a few more definitely. Take home. Look how beautiful. Yeah. It's a wonder why people don't love nature. I don't get it. I've always been a fan of the wild. So, yeah. Once again, we're in North San Diego, California, a place called Oceanside, out here in the wild, you know, picking berries, picking fruit, whatnot, veggies, yeah. So, yeah, we'll have a good time with these, definitely. So, once again, we're out here in the wild, and it's a wild world, and I am the wild berry picker. Have a nice day. Look what I found. Look what I found. Peace.